You must be thinking what Jasmine is up to. It's July 31st and she's sharing with us the information of June 2025. But hey, this report, what I will go through the slides, it is analysis from Urbanation, and they do it just for us, our company. They analyze the data of the market report, what comes normally every following first week. Like for the July, it will come first week of August. So they take like 2.5 weeks for to get us the whole PDF report, the analysis of what they have gathered. So that's why. So I got it last week, but I got delayed. Anyways, I had to get this out to you folks because it is a couple of things. It is June, like half year is already gone by, and this data was like very important to see what is going on, and it was the start of summer. So yeah, so that's why I thought let me bring this data, no matter I'm delayed, but the information is very vital. So let's dive in and let me share what I have learned from this report. And yes, if you need this report delivered to your inbox, I can do that, but you will have to send me a note. You can either comment here with your email ID and I will forward that to you folks, or you can DM me on my WhatsApp. So yes, let's get onto it. So June 2025 saw 6,243 transactions, and the sales improved 3 months for consecutive 3 months, which shows over here. So April, May and June, we have always seen a growth from like every month. Like January, if you see, it was only 3,800, then it was 4,000 in Feb, and then 5,600 in April, and then on it has been around 6,200 every month. So what it is, but we are still very low compared to the 10-year average that we have, which sits around 8,784. Now what is it indicating is the buyers are slowly returning, but they are still cautious. They're very cautious and they just want to understand what is going on. And yes, that is what is going on. Now over here, this chart shows us the active listing in the month of June 2025. Now the active listing over here we see is around 31,603. This is for the whole of GTA and all home types, which includes your condos, your semis, towns and rows, and the detached properties. Now if you see, the average is around between 19 to 20,000, but we have been double inventory that we are sitting right now compared to 2023, which is 2 years ago. It was around 14,000. And if we see the 2016, if you remember, before the stress test was introduced in 2017, the active listing on hand would be around 11,300, which was like a very much pressure on the buyer. So each listings would have offers up to 80, 110. That is what we had seen. But once the stress test came, the inventory rose and it was hovering between 19 and 20,000. But then after COVID, the absorption rate really increased, and then we saw like 2023, 2024 rate increased, and now gradually they are going down, but the seller activities have drastically increased, but also the absorption rate has been really slow. Now this chart will tell us the average selling price. Now this graph is for last 10 years. June average price was around 1,101,000, down by 5.4% compared to 2024 June. Now we are very much back to 2021 level. Prices have shown resilience despite high supply and economic uncertainty. Now, if you see 2016 price, average price, we are doing really good, right? The sky has not fallen down, so that shows that the prices have maintained. It has come down from the highest peak, but yes, it has been maintaining. Now, this chart over here gives us a data of sales by housing type. Now we have detached, condo, and semi. Now, detached homes in June 2025, the sales were around 3,011, which were year over year 3% down, but 55% lower 10 years ago. Like it was a peak in 2016. And this segment shows significant cooling but remains the most active among all home types. So you see it has cooled off, but still compared to the other two types, you see the number of homes sold are higher. Now, condo apartments. Condo sales landed at 1,510, 2% decline year over year, which is like June 2024 to June 2025. But notably, this segment has seen more stable trend over time, although still far from the highs 2021. So around 2021, we were seeing closer to 3,000 sales condo units being sold, and now we are around half of it. Now, semis rose in towns. The sales came in at around 1,649, also down 3% year over year. Performance has been fairly consistent, if you see, reflecting moderate demand in this mid-tier segment. Now, all three segments reflect buyer hesitation and interest rates and affordability concern. Detached homes dominate in volume, but condos show steadier long-term resilience. Keep an eye on entry-level and higher-end product types. That's where recent demand shifts are more visible. Now, this chart is active listings right now, the product that we have on market. Now, all these three contribute to the 31,000 units what we saw. So the active listing hit 14,143 for detached home, making a 35% year over year increase. So we were sitting around maybe 11,000 last year in June, and it has bumped to 14,143. Condo apartments also saw a 18% year over to 10,501 units, setting a new record high. Despite fewer new listings this year, inventory continues to rise, hinting at a buildup of unsold units. Now, semis, rows, and towns. The biggest jump that we have seen compared to year over year is around 43%. And the inventories right now we have on hand is around 6,623. And this category has the highest record, as I said. Now, what I have noticed is there are a lot of homeowners who are in this category, like the semi-detached town homes, and they are finding the detached homes cheaper and more like into their budget, and now they are willing to take the price drop on the semis to just make that next move to a bigger home. and that is why you see a lot more listings coming out in this segment. Now, inventory is rising across all home types, especially the more affordable and the mid-range segments. Now, buyers have more options than ever, but many remain hesitant due to the economic uncertainty and the interest rates. Expect price pressure if this trend continues through the summer. Let's take a look at the MLS Role low-rise home sales by price. So very interesting thing. This is very important for you guys to take note of this slide and the one which is coming after this. Homes under 600K saw a massive 79% increase in sales. The 600 to 699 range also saw the surge with 54% growth. And then we come down to 700 to 799K, saw a 20% growth. This reflects renewed buyer confidence at more affordable price point. Now, as soon as it crosses 800 though, the growth has trapped and it is just 5% of sales. So the higher price range declines, like when you see like 2 million, 1.7, so there is a decline, and surprisingly I see even 900 to 999 there is a decline of 2%. Now the sales dropped significantly in upper brackets, 1.5 million to 1.7 million to almost 16%, and 2 million plus around 18%. So this indicates that luxury home buyers are pulling back, likely due to the economic uncertainty and financing cost. Now when we take a look at the condo apartments, again June versus 2024 versus 2025, if you see these homes under 500K, there was 91% surge. So this reflects strong demand from the first-time home buyer and the budget-conscious investors. Actually, some of the starter homes are cheaper to own than rent. So you should think something about this price range product, especially those with growing up kids or grown-up kids who are renting. I have like a couple of families that just one closed today and one closed last week. The parents chose to pay the down payment, like the mom and pop bank, that is what we call. So they pulled out the equity from their home and forwarded that towards the down payment of their son's apartment, and they paid 20%, but you don't need that much. If it is a 500,000 home, for a first-time home buyer, they can buy with a 5% down payment, so which you're looking closer to 25,000 to like the closing cost, let's say around 35,000, and that's what the minimum amount you can spend and be a owner of a property. So this is how, like, you can help your children be a homeowner at this stage, and going forward in a few years time there will be enough equity for them to move up on the property. So the 500 to 599 is like around 10%, but if you see between 600 to 1.5, the sales have dropped down drastically, right? So like 25% in the 600 to 699 range, 700 to 799, 28% sales dropped, 800 to 899, 19%, 900 to 999, 8%, and the major one which we see here is 1 million to 1.5. But if you go and look at 1.5 plus million condos, it is surprising to see that there is a 20% increase in sale. So what is this telling us? Maybe there are downsizers or cash buyers who are seeking like premium options. So this is something to keep an eye on. So the condo market is splitting in two, thriving, the lowest and the highest. Middle market condos are struggling due to affordability and also the barriers of oversupply. Expect this polarization to continue unless borrowing condition changes. Now, the confidence is slowly building up. Demand is gradually returning after a sharp drop in consumer confidence this spring. This was triggered by a volatile trade conflict with our neighboring US in Feb and March. While activity is picking up, but it still lacks the historical norm. Economic pressures still linger, and businesses are cautious due to the ongoing global uncertainty. Canada's unemployment rate hit 7% in May, the highest in 9 years outside COVID. GDP contracted in both April and May, indicating broader economic weakness. Now, interest rate relief we were expecting, but the bank has remained like they have kept the rates the same. They have not done any changes. But on a brighter note, many economists are talking that by end of this year, we will see at least 50 basis points. So there should be some relief coming soon. So the positive signs are emerging. Despite high inventory, price decline have been moderate, showing market resilience. Growth is already visible in specific pockets. Now, if you see like from January to now, we have only seen the sales numbers rising. And now low-rise growth like pockets, if you see the low-rise homes in Toronto, affordable homes in 905 area, and both entry-level on high-end condos, like entry-level and high-end condos. Now, this is something what I thought, like, let me just put this together and bring it to you. And if at all you have any questions or itching for a market rundown, give us a shout. And also, if you want to know where your property is sitting at, what equity you have built up in your current home so that you could help your child, or as an investor, you could buy something as low as 500 below condos, which were like the product was not there a few years ago, right? So anyways, don't forget to like and comment and hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. Catch you next month.